cubs. One is also an extremely rare white lion. Locally, it is a symbol of good fortune. The unique color of his coat, he is destined to have a remarkable life. But now he is in grave danger. The hyenas are all around her. The lioness must always be on the alert. In the end, she has no choice but to take her children and move out of this dangerous area. And her brother is right behind her. The lioness makes sure it's safe. And as soon as she puts the white lion down, he rushes off into the grass. Once in his new home, he starts to play with his brother. When she is tired of playing, she lies on top of her mother. He enjoys a happy childhood. As he grows older, the white lion cub, his curiosity for nature is hard to resist, and his adventurous nature. Their adventurous nature is also coming through. Whenever they go too far, their mother reminds them to return to their side, because there are so many dangers in the wild. But the lion cubs are very obedient. To ensure that they have enough milk, the lionesses have to venture out to hunt. The cubs are left alone to face the danger. At night, the two brothers are attracted by the sound of frogs. They chase the frogs into the wild and disturb a cobra in the grass. The brother senses the danger and prepares to retreat, but he was bitten anyway. The poor brother stares wide-eyed. He watched with his own eyes as his brother fell motionless on the grass. He turns and runs for his life, and runs into the dangerous grass. The lioness who had returned from her hunt came on the scent, but finds only her brother's body. She roars and gives vent to the pain of her loss. The youngest son is still dead. Soon it is raining heavily. The young white lion can only hide and, helplessly calling out to his mother. The relentless rain drowned out his voice. The lioness searched throughout the night, but found no sign of it. Without his mother's protection, it's like a moving buffet. A hyena followed her. The white lion hides in a crevice in the rock and escapes the hyenas. He then climbs up a dead tree. From high up, he keeps calling for his mother, but the grassland is so big that the lioness can't hear her. Instead, she attracts a pack of hyenas. They gather around the tree. They were ready to eat the lion cub alive. Just then, a local teenager saw them. He shouted and chased the hyenas away. He looked at the lion cub in the tree and froze, for in his tribe, the white lion was a symbol of good fortune. The young man did not dare to disturb it, so he stayed under the tree all night, until the lioness came the next day. This youngster had just woken up from a nap when a lioness appeared in front of him. He meets the lioness eye to eye. He was too frightened to move. Just then, a rare white lion cub jumps out of a tree. He runs towards his mother excitedly. The lioness hisses at the boy, as if to express her gratitude. The young man was also moved by the sight. The mother and son then head off into the forest. For the safety of the young white lion, the lioness took him back to the pride. But his white fur is an anomaly in the eyes of his peers. She is always bullied by the other lion cubs, but the white lion's father doesn't mind. Instead, he loves the little one even more. But then, as fate would have it, two sturdy male lions come uninvited. They challenged their father to a fight. Faced with two rivals, he was soon defeated. The pride is violently suppressed. The young cubs are all driven away. The young white lion tries to join his cousins, but was ostracized and expelled. They end up wandering alone in the wild, without the protection of the pride and his mother. He could not survive on his own in the wild. The poor white lion is hungry for days. He tries to drink at the river to satisfy his hunger, but a crocodile in the river set eyes on him. In a panic, he falls into the water. The crocodile heard the sound and moved. He swam as fast as he could towards the shore. Fortunately, he was the first to reach the shore. He escaped with his life, but he also stepped into uncharted territory. Tired and hungry, the young white lion found a warthog. He was expecting a meal of pork chops. Instead, he is chased by the warthog and runs for his life. Then he sets his sights on a giraffe in the meadow. He jumped up as high as his legs. Then he takes a chance on an elephant. He looked at the size of the elephant before making his move. He thought better of it. In the end, he had no choice. He went to follow another lion who was alone, but he was beaten up by the other lion. The white lion was starved to the bone and his fur had lost its shine. The next day, he found the male lion had killed an antelope while he was running to drink. The white lion approaches carefully. It lies on top of the antelope and starts to eat it. When the male spotted him, he pounced on the antelope, but the white lion doesn't let go of his mouth. Perhaps it was the first time he had seen a rogue lion, or perhaps he was tired of being alone. The male decided to share the meal together and took the white lion as his special little brother. From the remains of the animal, he pounced on the antelope, but the white lion doesn't let go of his mouth. Perhaps it was the first time he had seen a rogue lion, or perhaps he was tired of being alone. The male decided to share the meal together and took the white lion as his special little brother. From the remains of the animal, the teenager, he deduces that the white lion has teamed up with another lion. The local hunter sees his ability and decided to hire him to work for him. With the shelter of his big brother, the white lions eat and sleep well every day. They are inseparable almost every day. Their brotherly love for each other grows stronger. But one day, an accident happened and lightning struck the trees. The lightning struck a tree and started a forest fire. The two brothers are surrounded. Luckily, the elder brother found a cave in time. When the fire subsided, they jumped out of the cave. Looking at the scorched forest, the brothers had to go hunting further afield, and this decision had very serious consequences. They go to the farmer's henhouse. They feast inside. The brothers are so full that, by the time the farmer notices the difference in the coop, the brothers have long since run off to the wild to digest. The angry farmer pulled out his dusty shotgun and finds the unused barbed wire. Using a dead chicken as bait, waiting for the two brothers to throw themselves into the net. Having just eaten their fill, they are still lazily basking in the sun. At night, they sneak into the farmer's henhouse again. The older brother has just bitten into the bait, and the barbed wire falls down, blocking the only exit. When the farmer heard the noise, immediately came running with his shotgun. First he fired a shot at the white lion. He missed from too far away. It only scared it away. Then the gun was aimed at the big brother in the cage. After a single shot, that was the end of his life. Hearing the shot, the white lion stops in his tracks. He stands on the rock waiting for his brother to return. There is sadness in his eyes. Perhaps he already knew that his brother would not return. Having just suffered the loss of a relative, has had to learn to be independent. He began to try hunting alone. From the simplest pearl chicken to snatching food from the mouths of cheetahs, the white lion has grown into a force to be reckoned with on the savannah, even against the cunning hyena, even against the wily hyena. Over time, the white lion, he has gone from being a cute young lion, from a cute young lion cub to a majestic adult lion. The whole grassland became his domain. The legend of the white lion king spread through the tribes. But this brings disaster. A wealthy man from out of town came to claim to take the rarest of white lions for his own collection. They travel by land cruiser. They track the white lion across the grassland, and he is preparing to return to the territory he once occupied. To reclaim his father's lost throne, the white lion soon finds the lion king here, and the rich man follows suit. The two lions, each in his own way, in the most primitive way, the two lions wrestle with each other, defending their position as lion kings. The hunter is also struck by the scene before him, watching the duel come to a head. Rich can't wait to pull the trigger. Excitedly, he ran towards his prey. Only when he got close did he realize that it wasn't the white lion he had hit. He raises the gun again and aims it at the white lion. The young man and the hunter stop the rich man. The white lion was scared deep into the forest. Years later, the white lion climbed to the top of the mountain and he looked down on the mountain he had made. Behind him, a young cub is curiously chasing the butterfly. He will carry on his strong and brave lineage. The legend of the white lion continues.
I've even tried biting her a couple of times so she would know how it feels, but it didn't work, so.
I'm not surprised it didn't. Oh, I
Raven,
see.
off.
Wow.
Off. Raven, off.
When I sat down, Raven was all over me. She's very friendly, but she uses her mouth and she nips very, very hard.
And you can't even pull your hand out because it just rips on the way out.
It does rip on the way out. That kind of hurts, puppy. It's very normal for puppies to be mouthy and to chew things, but each time Raven's mouth went on my arm, her little sharp teeth dug in, and that hurts. Oh, okay. Ow. I'm just one huge big chew toy, aren't I? This is really, woo!
Yeah.
Raven doesn't have any sense of boundaries. She's jumping up on me, John, and Elise. She's biting my shoes. She's biting my clothes. Nothing that I can do can get this puppy off me. So what do you do to discipline her when she is getting crazy like this?
We've tried holding her around the muzzle, just like this. And then I'll usually make her sit before I let go. Raven, sit. Sit.
So that was awesome. And what do you do?
Sometimes I'll grab her like this and just hold her.
Right.
And then other times, if she's acting up, I'll pick her up either by the nape of her neck or like this and pretty much stare at her until she stops.
Okay. Okay. John also tries to discipline Raven by holding her up above his head and staring into her eyes and shaking her around the scruff of the neck. All of this stuff's a moot point. Raven isn't being disciplined at all. Those methods of discipline have been ineffective. How do you play with
I
her?
normally like to just grab one of her toys.
Okay, show me.
Play with her. Hey, Raybone, come on, come on.
But Elise isn't a fan of John's games.
I definitely think that John playing with Raven is one of the reasons why she's kind of aggressive playing. John is always riling her up, getting Raven to snap at him. When I come along and Raven's snapping at me, I'm not as able to deal with it as John would be.
Number one, she expresses herself with her mouth. It hurts. I've got all the scratches on my hands still to prove it. It hurts now, but when she grows into adulthood and she's orally fixated, wow. That is going to be very serious, going to be very, very dangerous. So we have to stop the behavior right now. It's very important for puppies to have play. But what is this all getting her riled up by playing with your arms in your hand? Encouraging her, saying, bite me, here are my hands, bite me. What is that?
I don't know, it's just the way I've always played with my dog.
You can't tell her off for nipping, yet encourage her to do that in play.
Victoria wants to instill a more constructive form of discipline in the house.
I want to stop her from mouthing so much and from jumping up. When I came here to observe, I mean, I was getting jumped up on when I was standing. Ow!
She does.
When I was sitting. Ow. I don't want Raven to continue this behavior, especially into adulthood, because then it goes from being just annoying to being dangerous. So I want to do something that's going to address both the jumping and the mouthing. I want to do a removal technique. I'm going to use this. And the reason why I've got a chain leash is that when she jumps up to try and bite the leash, that's not going to be too pleasant. So I'm going to put her leash on. Yeah, don't feel good, does it? I'd like you both just to sit down on the sofa. Good girl. If she jumps up on you or mouths you at all. Uh-oh. I just said uh-oh and removed her. Training a puppy should never be confrontational. You don't want your puppy to fear you by dominating it. So I'd like you to take over. I'm going to come and sit down. Any mouthing, jumping up, biting, she's out, okay? Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'd like you to say, so it's a really clear, different marker.
Victoria still wants the couple to give affection,
Come here, Raven.
but if she starts to mouth, she is removed before the behavior can escalate.
Nice. Good. That's great, Elise. That's perfect.
After only a few attempts, Victoria's calm approach pays off.
Hi. Hi. Good girl. Hi, puppy.
After working with Victoria, I'm very confident that John and I will be able to train Raven to be calmer and to exhibit the good behavior that we want.
Now, John, I know you like rough housing, going like this, no more. The very fact that he played rough with her was actually encouraging her to bite his arms and his hands. No more rough play. The only interaction between you and her is nice, gentle stroking. Okay?
Okay.
It's important to praise a puppy when a puppy's done well. Mark every single good behavior. If puppy is praised for a behavior, it's more likely to offer you that behavior again. No more rough play. Redirect any chewing onto a toy. Practice with a chain leash the removal technique. You can do it when you're both here or if you have a guest come in. So good luck, and I'll see you in a few days.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome. See you guys.
Back at home, Elise and John have invited a friend over.
Hey.
Hey, when I usually come over to Lisa and John's house, Raven's always very prominent. She's trying to bite everybody, basically. All right.
Down. Raven.
Sweet.
Let's go. Let's go. The minute Raven jumped up on Walter, I pulled Raven off and told her down. I took her off to the side and waited for her to calm down before I reintroduced her to Walter.
Perfect, Elise. By removing Raven when she jumps up, shows her that there are negative consequences to that behavior.
Hot.
Okay.
Raven.
Wait.
Sit. Good girl. It took a couple of times of removing Raven and making sure that she calmed down before we reintroduced her to Walter. But after maybe 4 or 5 times, she was able to just sit down and not try to bite or mouth him. Good girl. Yay.
Well, I almost don't know how to react to that.
I was definitely surprised at how calm Raven was, and it lets me know that I can bring people over now.
I'm so proud right now.
At the end of the visit, Raven is just laying on the ground, almost closing her eyes. It's almost like she's tired. I've never seen Raven tired before.
Look at that. It's nice to see Raven lying so calmly on the floor. What a difference her behavior is to when I was first there.
Since the training, Raven is a lot calmer. She's not as mouthy. She comes to us for affection without jumping up more often.
Stay.
She's starting to listen a lot more.
My husband